Now, so our pasta's been nicely rested, Michele, and you're vigorously working up those biceps, I can see.
Nice and ready.
And our viewers can see the difference in colour. You're getting a white colour here, the one done without the eggs.
We just got some pepper in this mix as well, just for extra flavour.
There we go.
Okay, so just work it out through. You don't have to put pepper in the mix if you don't want to. You can just leave it plain.
I like that wrist action. I mean, would the housewives have all the, well, not housewives, but the chefs at home have all the flour going right through their kitchen and lounge rooms?
Probably, yes.
So perhaps do it a little bit more gently, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Now, there's no need, I'm telling you this, there's no need to try to do like a long sheet of pasta like that.
No.
Just try to keep it short, because the longer it is, much easier, more chance you got that actually it's going to break on you. So we keep it short, unless you're doing a competition for longest tagliatelle in the world.
And how would we eat those, Michele? Do a real big twist. All right.
Now, this one is a strozzapreti I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to do the easy way of doing it. Just cut it, and then you just grab it here, the start, okay? Always make sure that your hands have a little bit of flour, and then you just twist it in your hand, okay?
Beautiful.
And then you got your strozzapreti. Now, you can do it really long ones. It depends how big the preti is. Okay, that's your strozzapreti there. And of course, this one is a pasta. It's not as delicate as an egg pasta, so you should always use like you know, really full of flavor sauce. So in this case, we're going for the pesto, which is nice, beautiful aroma of the basil. This is the egg pasta. You can see completely different color again. Okay.
You didn't seem to work that pasta for very long. Is that all it takes?
Yeah.
A couple of, okay.
Now, if the pasta is rested properly, you shouldn't do a lot of mucking around with your pasta on the machine, because then you get dry up too much and you get other problems. Now, this one, what we're going to do here, we got two different things. We're going to do some tagliatelle. Now, of course, if you're going to do tagliatelle, you want to have a nice shape, so you can sort of fold it again and then go this way, and of course bring back a number, otherwise the pasta will break. Then you do the same thing with this one.
Now, tagliatelle. Now, this is a dish that was basically, I suppose, thought up in the Emilia-Romagna, the central part of Italy. And you know the word tagliatelle, golly, it changes from whereabouts you go. In Italy, they call it trenette in Liguria, they call it fettuccine in Rome. Is that right? So it depends where you go. Tagliolini, tagliarini, they're slightly thinner, some are slightly fatter, some wider. So it's an interesting story behind tagliatelle, but it is the dish that was made famous in Emilia-Romagna. And of course, the bolognese sauce that we're going to be doing with this tonight, now that's been actually a sauce that's been standardised in Italy, I believe.
Yep.
In terms of it is what it is. You can add and detract, but a bolognese is a bolognese. Now, when we talk about meat ragouts, Michele, I suppose central to northern part of Italy.
Change a little bit.
It does change.
I just want to show you something. Now, when you work this pasta, make sure, if you don't want your pasta to stick together, make sure that you're actually going to let it rest a little bit with the semolina. Always use semolina at this stage, because semolina will make your pasta dry and not stick on the actual bench. But the same thing is actually won't get absorbed by the pasta. So that's the beauty of it. Otherwise, you might get big patches of flour into your mixture. And what I was going to do is very quickly. Now, you can do. I don't like to use the actual machine to cut it, because I like to give a little bit of rough finish to this pasta.
Homely finish, something
Yes.
that you have at
So
home.
we just roll it like this, okay?
These are all the tricks of the trade here. Now, Michele, you think we should leave it a bit longer?
Yeah, we just let it rest a little bit, like
Okay.
I said, with the semolina, so it'll dry up nice and easy, because otherwise sometimes the pasta tend to stick at home. That's why what's happening. Now, in the meantime, we're going to do just a couple of tortellini, okay?
Oh, very special tortellini. This is the festive pasta that is had in Bologna, which is once again central Italy.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's something that all good Italian children were brought up on Sundays. Now, you can do tortellini two ways. I suppose you either have them asciutti, which means dry in a sauce, which is what we're going to show you this evening, being in a cream-based sauce, or you can simply make them a little bit smaller if you've got a little tiny finger, and you can have them in brodo, which is chicken broth. So your children will love you forever.
Now, all you have to do is just little squares. Here I'm going to do just very small squares, just for you to have a look, okay? Of course, if you're going to do it at home, you'll be making all one size. Now, okay, it depends how much time you got. I've got the mixture here done already. Usually it's a meat mixture.
Now, you always put in now fairly lean veal. Can you have chicken or beef?
Yeah, chicken, a little bit of beef. Some people like to have a bit of pork. Mortadella is very popular as well, and also some prosciutto if you want to put prosciutto, some onions to fry off, and of course some herbs as well.
Yes, a bit of nutmeg maybe.
Yes, nutmeg,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's quite a. Now, prosciutto is a fairly important factor in this because it gives it its bite, and we were talking about prosciutto actually earlier on today, as you're going through the paces of how you make these tortellini, which although it looks very simple, let me tell you, it is an art in itself.
Triangle. Okay, now you have to seal it. Now at this point, because there's two different pasta you can do is pretty much at the same time. Now this you have to bring it up, okay, and then you can do in different fingers. Now in Italy you can actually go to the shop done by hand, and you pay different price for which finger the lady's been used. Now ladies will have bigger finger than mine, believe it or not. Anyway, so you just put it around your finger, around your special finger, and that's it. Beautiful. Now this will be a tortellino. At the same time, you can actually do, like I said, a small one. Now a small one, you can actually do a round as well. It's not a problem. Now again triangle. And then if you want to have a cappelletto, what it's called, which is pretty similar. The only difference is that instead of lifting this up, you just put a stripe. You're just going to close it like that. Then you're going to have a cappelletto. Of course, small ones are going to be better for a brodo, and big one will be better for a sauce.
And what's the protocol about how many you should serve? Because there's one thing in Australia that we serve too much pasta per serving, right? I think the rule of thumb is about 60, 70 grams in Italy. In Australia, we tend to serve about 100 grams, which is just far too much. And in terms of tortellini and brodo, it should be a tasting. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Because they're terribly special.
You won't be able to fill up with, of course, with the tortellini.
No.
Now, of course, I suggest you not to go for the small one because it will take you forever and you'll be really upset with us. And, but anyway, just to have an idea. And of course, you can actually do a round shape instead of do a triangle. You can actually cut it into a round shape, if you like.
Because depending on where you go in Italy, I mean, ravioli is the generic term for all filled pasta, but you have tortelli, you have the very famous tortelli, in fact, of Mantova, which has the pumpkin, amaretti, and mostarda fruit filling, which is terribly special. The meat filling, you can have ones done with ricotta and spinach, I think, Michele, which are fairly fashionable these days because people are sort of going into that vegetable style of eating.
One. So you can sort of have a different shape.
They can be half moons, some of them.
Yeah, that's what some people call it agnolotto. But then again, you can't expect that to be all the same because it's done by hand. So that's one of the best things in Italy when you go to the trattoria. You know what they give you because if they're all the same, they're not done by hand. So
Michele, can you make sure you don't make them too perfect in here? Otherwise people will think that they've been machine-made, not handmade.
So now you can tell why if you go to a restaurant, why, you know, they charge you a lot of money for a tortellino done by hand because I mean, they will cost a lot of money to produce, especially if you've got, you know, expensive chefs. And now, I'm show you again the fettuccine, okay? Now it's drier, the pasta, okay? We can do the fettuccine. Just roll it like this, okay? Don't press too much, okay? The thickness is up to you. Usually, the wider the pasta goes, and the thinner should be, okay? Now, you see you got a like overlapping thing. Now, I'm just going to show you, hit this one. Now, when it's done like that, you just pick it up and you shake it, and then you got your, probably that's what it's called, maybe a pappardella.
Pappardelle is one of those wonderful dishes that you have with the hare ragu.
Yeah, and this is probably fettuccine or tagliatelle, and then you go
tagliolini or taglierini.
You go a little bit smaller. Now always pick it up from the overlapping part and shake it. Shake it as much as you can. Okay.
That to get rid of the excess.
Yeah. And of course,
flour.
you shouldn't be putting it all stuck together, especially in the fridge. Let it dry a little bit. But if you do these steps that I told you, they should be okay.
Now, what about hanging it over the wooden rods like they do in the Italian homes?
Make sure that the rose is clean, that's all I can say. And now we're going for small ones, okay? Now we can call this linguine if you want. Sorry, make sure you cut it properly all the way. You can call this linguine if you want. And then you just go smaller till you go to a angel hair pasta, which is what is actually the angel hair, the really fine one. You can actually have that in brodo, not as a dry pasta, but in brodo, or with a really delicate sauce.